All right, babes, it's time for me to share with you the very best of 2025 music through my list of top 30 albums released for this year. I'm so excited to share this with you all. There's nothing too technical really about my list. It's just the records that I really thoroughly enjoyed throughout the entire year. Although the ranking is really based off of how I enjoyed the album, really. These are the best of the best. And I consume a lot of different genres. There are a lot of pop albums in here, but there's some hip hop albums in this one, R&B. So yeah, let's dive into it. I'd like to share with you guys a taste of my music taste. And these are the things that I really enjoyed for the year. And at number 30 is Tame Impala with Deadbeat. Now, this album has received mixed reviews and reception, really. But for me, I loved the arrival of Tame Impala with the maturity of his songwriting and, of course, that signature style of vocals that he would always infuse in his albums. My favorites would be End of Summer, which has been on repeat since it was released as a single prior to the album, and Dracula also, which I enjoyed the performance during his set for NPR Tiny Desk. Next on the list at number 29 would be Doja Cat with V. Now, this album has to grow on me, really. It is a departure from her previous record, which is a bit on the darker side. I enjoyed that album also, but I think with Doja Cat being the experimenter that she is, I feel like a lot of people would really have to adjust their palate when it comes to consuming her music. But this one really has to grow on me. I have to listen to it for a couple times before it would fully resonate on me, and I understand the vision for this album. And the standouts for me would be Cards, the first track, I guess, and Gorgeous. Now, it's between Gorgeous and Amen, but we know the experimental camp, Doja Cat, will always win. But I'd give it to Gorgeous, really, because I really am surprised with the way that she was able to convey the message of beauty standards in this track. I've really grown to love this single, and the video, gorgeous as hell. Like Alex Kanzani being in the video, the 70s type of aesthetic was really on point, and they were able to execute it really, really well. Up next would be at number 28, Demi Lovato with It's Not That Deep. Now, people might say this is just a regular album, honestly, and I've read someplace else that this is a regular album, but I would love to commend Demi for collaborating with new producers to explore this type of electronic, a bit on the grittier side of dance music, which she attempted to do before. But I think this is the best kind of interpretation that she has on the genre. My standouts would be Fast and Sorry to Myself. On the more emotional side, I really feel the depths of songwriting that she has on this, and the honesty, apologizing to her younger self, is a really powerful message. Number 27 is Lorde with Virgin. Now, we've all been waiting for Miss Lorde to to arrive. Everybody loves Lorde's type of electronic music, and with Virgin, she came back to form, and it's a really great album. I really wished that it was pushed more, but I know within the fan base of Lorde and lovers of pop electronic music, it really hit the spot really well. And my standouts would be David and Favorite Daughter. At 26 is Tyler, the Creator, with Don't Tap the Glass. I think this is the Tyler album that really resonated with me upon first listen. It's sharp, it's short, it's straight to the point, and it's loose, just like the way that Tyler intended to create the album. And my standouts would be I'll Take Care of You with the wonderful Yaba. The vocals that she was able to land on this track was magnificent, and Mama Nem, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. At number 25, Florence and the Machine with Everybody Scream. Her contribution to the Halloween spectacle of the gays is here. I loved how it's a reminiscent, really, of how big, how blue, how beautiful. And this is a real great piece of poetry, really. And her vocals, as always, is astounding. And my standouts would be Kraken and End Love. At number 24 is my official first Clips album with Let God Sort Them Out. So I don't have much to say about the artists. I know that they're legends within the hip hop space. I would love to study them more, but this album really surprised me when it comes to the sharpness again of the lyrics. I loved Ibita and POV. There's so many collaborators in here, and I think they really made a mark when it comes to their contributions to each of the tracks that they're a part of. Up next would be Miss Miley Cyrus with Something Beautiful. This is an album that was really like a total 180 from what's her last album? Was it like Endless Summer Vacation? Was it? Yeah. She kept some of the sounds of it really inspired by the 70s, 80s sound, but this one really stayed true to the core, the musicality of that era. And my standouts would be Something Beautiful, which I fell in love. I was on the floor when I listened to this single. I feel like this is the kind of music that Miley really wanted to make since forever. You know, she grew up with the rock stars, and I felt like she really embodies that sense of musicality from the rock stars of that generation. So I'm really, really happy that she was able to dip her toes in these types of sounds. Gold and Burning Sun is also a wonderful, wonderful record. Up next at number 22 would be my mother, Lady Gaga with Mayhem. I don't think we have to really say much about this album because of the impact that it had this year with Abracadabra, of course. I was thoroughly satisfied with this album. I feel like I've been waiting for Gaga to come back to this kind of sound. I wouldn't say it's like a copy of... for people who are saying that she's reheating her nachos, I don't think so. This is not her reheating her nachos because this is a completely different sound from Gaga. It's just that it is really a combination of a lot of the things that she's already good at. You know what I mean? Like the dark electronic pop mixed with, of course, her poetry, and then the pop sensibilities of it. She was able to really blend all of these here. And then she introduced a new kind of sonic to her audiences with sounds like Vanish Into You, Kill for Love, which is a part of the deluxe version, and then Killa is a new kind of sound for her also, and then Shadow of a Man. I think all of those within those same sonics, I really enjoyed what she did with those sounds. But my standouts from the album, from Mother, is Killa and Perfect Celebrity. I love rock Gaga. I think she needs to do more of it. Like an official and proper rock album is imminent, I feel, and I think it's gonna be what we're gonna have a taste of for the next album. Alrighty, the next one is a new discovery for me. The name is Anastasia. I hope I'm pronouncing it, my dear, properly. With Tether. When I first heard the name and the title, to be honest, I was really expecting more of a dance vibe to it, but I was so shocked with the poignant vocals in this album and the just the level of lyricism that she was able to bring in here. It's so pure, and it hurt a little. Her if you haven't gotten into her, I won't spoil the album so much, but my standouts are Take Care of Me and Satisfy Me. Please go ahead and deep dive Anastasia with Tether. Alright, now at number 20 would be CMAT with Euro Country. It's my first album from the artist as well. It's very camp in a lot of parts. It has a lot of vivid storytelling, which I think is reminiscent of a lot of folky / country albums. And I was really hooked. You know, I was really reading the lyrics as I was consuming the album. But my favorites would be Take a Sexy Picture of Me and Lord, Let That Tesla Crash, which is hilarious to me, honestly. But it's a great album. I discovered this through Hayley Williams, which would make an appearance in my list also. At number 19, it's Giveon with Beloved. Now, I love me some Giveon because Giveon and I feel like we have the same range. He's also a baritone. I might be butchering this, but we have the same range. So I enjoy listening to his voice because I love the way that he takes his voice to levels that are within his range, but also making it sound so impactful. You know what I mean? And I've been really trying to also adapt that to my own music, but this album is insanely good for me. I'm glad that it has a Grammy nomination. My standouts from the album would be the first track, Mud, and then Avalanche. At number 18, Wet Leg with Moisturizer. This album, their second album, I first discovered them. I believe they opened for Harry Styles, was it? I don't know. I may be wrong. But people were really expecting so much of them because of the second album kind of slop. You know, the curse that people would put on artists as they put out a second album after releasing such an incredible first one. But to me, this is good. I really enjoyed the album with my favorites, Pillow Talk. This is one of the best yearning kind of songs that I've ever heard. I really wish they used this for Heated Rivalry just because of the yearning in the lyrics. And then Catch These Fists was amazing. 17 would be Okay Lou, Choke Enough. A new introduction again for me for this wonderful artist. Now, my favorites for this one would be Plague Dogs and Blade Bird. It's a dreamy album. Actually, just because of the cover art, I was expecting more of a rock vibe to it, but she's actually making dreamy alternative pop kind of music, and I dig it. I really dig it a lot. At number 16 would be my girl, Zara Larsson with Midnight Sun. Now, listen, I have been with Zara for the longest time. My favorites from this album would be Hot and Sexy and Midnight Sun. Honestly, this album is pure pop perfection. No skips. I haven't heard a pop album that is as concise and as cohesive as this one. There are a lot of them, for sure. But for Zara to be able to put this out after her previous records, which is a continued experimentation of her sound, I'm really glad that Zara was able to find her lane now. And her collaboration with MNEK is, I think, it should be continued. You know, for her next record, we need another MNEK appearance as an executive producer, or perhaps a feature. I love Zara so much, you know. I think I've tweeted from a long time ago. I don't have a copy of it, but I would really love to collab with Zara in the future. An amazing vocalist and just overall a goofball also. So I feel like we're going to be like, you know, soul sisters someday. But I love this. I love Midnight Sun, and I hope it's continuing to catch on next year in 2026 because summer isn't over yet. Next at number 15 is Renee Rapp. My girl with Bite Me. Now, I keep on comparing this album to the first one only because, you know, like we only have two main studio albums to compare to. But I would say I actually prefer it more than the first one. Now, I love the first one because of the melodies in the first one. I think is a winner. I'm shocked that she is snubbed for a Grammy for that album, Snow Angel. But with Bite Me, I think she knows what she wants to do within the pop realm. My standouts actually are the R&B kind of cuts in the album, which are I Can't Have You Around Me Anymore and Why Is She Still Here, which I think she would really obliterate the genre if she continues to, you know, dive deeper into this space. She has the voice for it. And I'm not saying like the voice that could belt. It's not just that. It's actually the voice that could produce the best riffs, the best background vocals, the best layers, the best harmonies, that could sing such poignant R&B records. And I'm excited for Renee to get on it. And at number 14 would be Jade, her debut album, That's Showbiz Baby. Now, I'm a Little Mix fan. I really applaud her for staying true to her core, being a pop queen. She really wants to be a pop star, and she experimented so much in That's Showbiz Baby, which is evident in my standouts, Unconditional and Midnight Cowboy. I think my favorite out of the album would be Midnight Cowboy, which is co-written with Ray, I believe. I love that song so much because it really kind of transforms her voice into with a different type of texture, you know, with the rap singing, the mixing also of the vocals, which I really, really enjoyed. She's a powerful vocalist. I feel like I've heard a lot of the powerful vocals in the other songs, but with Midnight Cowboy, girl, she has a really bright future in this type of music, and I think she needs to get on it more for the next one. At number 13 would be Why Not More by my girl Coco Jones. Listen, I go back to her interviews with Terrell every single time. I think every month I have that session where I would just watch her videos just to give me like a good happy pill. Of course, T and Coco. I would always watch those videos also, but I love Coco Jones. This girl can sing down. She has one of the best voices in today's pop music generation, really. And she can make a good pop record too. You all hated Taste, but that is a good pop record. I would die on that hill. Taste is a wonderful pop record. I just hate it when you guys try to dissect the record for when it's supposed to be just a fun, sultry record. In the video, my goodness, Mama was dancing. So I love this album so much. My tops would be On Sight and Other Side of Love. I feel that there was a risk that Coco took in this album because people love her for ICU. I just appreciate the fact that she didn't want to make another ICU. I love that about her. She gave us On Sight, which is a very nostalgic kind of cut, a more traditional R&B with Other Side of Love to really show everybody that she really got the chops, you know? And number 12 would be Addison Rae's Addison. It's needless to say that everybody was shocked with the kind of quality that Miss Addison was able to put to the table with Addison. This girl will stay. I want to meet her. I want to meet her so bad. I feel like she's such a ball of sunshine, and from what I've heard, she's a really, really intelligent musician too. Good ear. And I heard that in the album, you know? I love the risks that she took here also. And oh my goodness, this is the best single run in this decade, I feel. Correct me if I'm wrong. Diet Pepsi, Aquamarine, was it High Fashion? Fame is a Gun. My favorite, Times Like These. My favorites are Times Like These and High Fashion. Insane. And the videos, incredible. You know, this is a pop artist that knows what they want. All claps to Miss Addison for that. Okay, at number 11 would be Wolf Alice with The Clearing. There's so much to say about the level of intelligence with the way that they wrote this album. I was hooked from beginning to end with my standouts, Bloom, Baby Bloom, and Midnight Song. It's a roller coaster type of album, I would say, emotionally and just sounds wise. This album, to me, The Clearing, is one of the best albums of the year and one of the best alternative albums out there. I don't know if they have a Grammy nom. I don't know, but regardless, please listen to The Clearing. I've recommended this to my friends. Next would be Amare with Black Star. I didn't know she was gonna release an album, so when it appeared on my Apple Music, we cheered. We cheered because we love Amare in this household. Now, we know her sound with Fountain Baby, and there's a lot more intricate details that she was doing with this album when it comes to production. So she's introducing new sounds. I believe Pink Panthers is here also. But my standouts would be Star Killer and B2B, which is if I'm not wrong, it's a bi anthem. I love that. We're now actually in the top 10. So top 10, number 10 is Black Star by Amare, and then at number 9 would be the very, very short mixtape. Is it a mixtape? I don't know, but this is Pink Panthers with Fancy That. My standouts would be Stateside, which I'm very, very happy that Zara hopped on this remix. It's incredibly done. And Tonight. That is my favorite. I think Pink is really maturing well enough in this kind of garage kind of pop. I want her to explore more, but if she stays in this lane, I would be very, very happy. Up next would be the very emotional SX Honey album by Blood Orange. It's the kind of album that I really want to listen to right now, especially I'm in my own healing journey, but this is a different kind of healing, I would say. But it's very dreamy. You just don't have a choice but to just sit, relax, and immerse yourself in the world that they built. That's the kind of artist that Blood Orange is. Now, I don't listen to this album a lot because it's emotional, but when I do, it's a treat. My favorites are The Train, King's Cross, and Thinking Clean. To number 7, that would be Miss Girl, Hayley Williams with Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party. One of the most innovative releases that I've seen so far, personally. This is her first album after Atlantic. right? Was it? When she dropped this on the website, I was so confused because what does she want to do? Is this a mixtape? Is it what? And then eventually, I really appreciated what she did with the engagement of it, the many different versions of the track lists that us, the fans, did. And I really, really enjoyed this album so much. This is her best. This is her best album, her best solo album. But my question is, who hurt you, ma'am? Who did hurt you? This was insane. Favorites are Mirtapine and Blood Bros. At number 6, a new introduction to me also is Nina Girachi with I Love My Computer. Now, this is the kind of EDM that we're missing in the scene, I think. If there's going to be an EDM revival, I think this person is going to be at the forefront of it. I found out actually that she's Australian. It's very fresh, but you could really hear some of the influences, by other Australian EDM artists. This is how I want 2026 to feel. It's chaotic, but it's still technically in place. You know what I mean? My favorites would be Sirac and London Song. My top 5 are the following. Number 5 is Rochelle Jordan with Through the Wall. This is the best dance house R&B album ever. Insane the level of quality that this album has. It sounds so rich. It's so luxurious. It sounds expensive. I want to be rich when I listen to this album, and it's a good strutting song. When you're walking down the streets. It reminds me a little bit of Kalela, but this one is on a league of its own. My standouts are Sweet Sensation and Words to Say. At number 4 would be my girl again, FKA Twigs with Eusexua. I just love the dedication to club and techno, and again, it's a reminiscent of. It has a lot of inspirations from Madonna's Ray of Light when Madonna was really introducing techno, electronica to the mainstream. I love the influences in here. It's a widely physical album because it requires you to move. But I love that about the album, and I just love the concept that she put out like a new version of the album. Like, why not? Like, you might want to call it a deluxe, you might want to call it like a new version. I don't know. Like, it's a really good way to re-engage the fans, and we get more songs. So guess who won? We won. I love that also. Like, the lyrics are so vulnerable and so introspective, but this one is so fun. I loved Sticky and Perfectly, okay, which is from the second version of the Sexual album. Now for number 3, we have Mr. Bad Bunny, who is a big crush. But I haven't really immersed myself in his albums until I think late last year. And I've been missing out so much about the level of lyricism that he has and the musicality as well. But with Debbie Tirarma's Photos, I feel like we've gotten the bigger beast of a musician that is Bad Bunny. The album felt like a history book. I mean, I still need to take my time and read the translated lyrics. You can feel that he really wanted to preserve the technicalities of Puerto Rican rhythms and melodies and the instrumentations as well, while trying to meet his audiences where they are, because the girls love Bad Bunny because of the reggaeton music that he became popular for. But in tracks which are my favorites, Baile Inolvidable and Turista, we see Bad Bunny in a different lens. I love Baile Inolvidable because it's very historic. You can really feel the act of preservation in this 6-minute track. And then Turista is such an emotional song. I please, if you haven't read the translated lyrics of Turista, please do so. Okay? Okay. Do yourself a favor and please do. Now, at number 2 would be Dijon's Baby. Now, I don't think people are expecting this kind of sound from Dijon. So I feel like people would have different expectations, but oh dear God, Baby is almost a surrealist album for me. It's so focused on feelings and driving you through the sonics of the sounds that he's producing. I admire this because I always love when artists do this. When they treat the album as if it's a museum for the kinds of space that each song is trying to occupy, as if the songs are art pieces. That's what this album felt like. I loved so much the friction that each track has. Like, it's so gritty. It's not for everybody, I would say, but it's an album that everybody should try to listen to at least once. And I think that's making the album even all the more interesting, because once it grows on you, girl, There's no going back. Now, my favorites are Fire and Yamaha. My top album, my album of the year for 2025, and perhaps for a very long time, is Rosalia's Looks. Okay? I could talk about this album for days, but we will not do that in this video. Rosalia is a master, and I am patterning my own artistry with my own music, with the way that she is tackling her every album. And there's another person that does this, which is Beyonce. They're treating their album cycles as a master's degree. Every single album cycle, they study. They're historians. I think Bad Bunny is trying to be in that league also, but they are musical historians. They mastered innovation with mass appeal. I remember when the interview with New York, was it New York Times, like the podcast before the album dropped, she says that this is a pop album. If Kate Bush and Bjork was able to do it, this is a pop album. It's just a different way of making pop. And it is. It is a freaking pop album. This has such a huge mass appeal. And because, am I pronouncing it right? When Berghain or Berghain, I don't know how to pronounce it. When Berghain, when Berghain,
Berghain.
when Berghain dropped, but does it have a mass appeal? Yes, it does. Was it weird? Yes. Was it unconventional? Yes. But does it appeal to people? Yes. And it's so hard to do that. It's so hard to be so experimental without alienating, your core audience. But she got us hooked. It's a wild, wild sensory album. And when she said that she requires our attention and time, which she also said is a lot to ask for the audience these days, it really did pay off, because 13 languages? Are you kidding me? 13 languages in one album. And she studied how to really speak, read, and write those languages. That's insane. That's a student. It has the best of the grittiness of Motomami, of course the softness of El Mal Querer. She was able to infuse both. So she's really become an artist of her own, but she's hungry to learn and to create something new. And I admire that about artists, There's too much to take in for this album, but if I could just state like every song is my favorite, I would do that. But so far, my favorites are La Jugular. I would say Magnolias is the next one. There is a lyric in La Jugular let me search it up. When I first heard it, I almost cried. I think I shed a tear. It's one of the first few words in the song, and the lyrics say, "How many fights do the lines on my hands remember?" Like, I was such in a very dark time in my life when this dropped, and I felt like it really gave me light. No pun intended. It really spoke to me. I felt really seen, and just the kind of writing that, like the just her pen to begin with is already impeccable, and even up to now I'm still speechless about the album, even if I listen to the album every day. But I think this is really one of the best albums ever made. But yeah, that's my top 30 albums of the year. I really enjoyed listing these down and re-listening to some of these albums to check which are my favorites. But yeah, I really hope that you got to see or understand the kind of musical taste that I have as a person and as a musician. So yeah, on to the next one. I'm very excited for next year's music. My album is gonna be a part of that year already, so I'm very excited. So see ya, babes. Bye.